Dinner was lighthearted, filled with delicious seafood, a Moscato that went down like fruit punch, and a confessional about words we'd misunderstood as kids. I wiped a dollop of salad dressing off my upper lip. My turn. When I was about 7, Ari and I were playing Monopoly, and he was being a total brat. Ro swiped a piece of bread through the buttery wine sauce from the prawns. He was winning. Exactly. So, to insult him and prove I was smarter than my science nerd brother, I decided to call him an organism. Except, I couldn't remember which was the single-celled life form and which was the sex thing, and, well, orgasm it was. He must have had a field day with that one. He knew I meant organism, but he wasn't too sure what an orgasm was either, so, being the curious child he was, he had to find out. Rohan shook his head, his expression half amused, half fearful. We were staying with my bubby that summer, who didn't have internet. Imagine this perfectly coiffed woman nervously twisting her diamond ring while her twin grandchildren peppered her with questions about orgasms. I think she tried to answer the first one, then she gave us $10 and told us to go buy candy. Why do I sense an extortion scam? Because you know me. To be fair, Ari was just as bad. We must have raked in a couple $100 that summer. Just stayed high on gummy bears and Chupa Chups. Mom had to detox us when we got home. I speared a piece of avocado. That was also the year Ari broke his ankle rollerblading off a homemade ramp, and I ended up with a really bad case of road rash trying to ride my bike on one wheel. I picked out the lone candied pecan left in the salad bowl and tossed it in my mouth. There may have been a correlation. At least your story had a happy ending. Rohan covered his eyes with his hand. I can't believe I'm going to tell you this. I pried his hand away. But you are. I used to think that hot and bothered meant annoyed. When was this? When you were 17, 18? Funny. No, I was 6. I walked up to my mom and Asha and said, "You know what gets me hot and bothered?" Mom got this weird look on her face like she'd swallowed something the wrong way, but asked me what. And you said? People picking their toenails. I snorted, my fork clattering to my plate. That poor woman, thinking she had a little foot fetishist. It gets worse. Years later, when I was dating Lily, unbeknownst to me, Asha dropped that little tidbit into a conversation with Lils without saying I'd been a kid when I said it. And she did it on the very night Lily and I were planning to sleep together. I tried to keep a sympathetic expression on my face, but my shoulders shook. Your cousin was an evil genius. Please, keep oversharing. I had this whole romantic night planned. Dude, you were 16 when you lost your V-card. How romantic could you have been? A black candle, a hotel room, and Morrissey crooning Sweet Nothing Matters on the CD player? Morrissey is more post-organismic. He smirked at me. Did I use that correctly in a sentence? I shot him the finger.